They are rooms we never want to walk into, places that feel wrong. But sometimes, evil doesn't just haunt a space, it builds it. It fixes its hinges, it paints its walls. This is a true story of a man who everyone trusted, who smiled at neighbors, who repaired homes, and behind closed doors, dismembered bodies. This is the true crime nightmare of Eric Hallen. In a quiet suburban neighborhood, the faint smell of something foul leaks into the winter air. Neighbors think maybe a raccoon died, maybe the pipes froze. But inside the modest two-story house on Pelham Road, horror waits in the basement. The floor is cold concrete. A single light bulb flickers from the ceiling. There are tools along the wall, neatly arranged, almost surgical. In the center of the room lies the body of a 42-year-old Nancy, bound by the ankles and wrists with speaker wire. A gash runs from her collarbone to the navel, clean and deliberate. Her eyes still open. On the workbench beside her, a duct tape, rope, bloodied claw hammer. Her mouth is stuffed with insulation foam. Police arrive after a wellness check, tipped off by a concerned sister who hadn't heard from Nancy in days. What they find triggers a cascade of reopened files and re-examined assumptions. Behind the workbench, an uneven section of drywall. New paint, fresh screws. They knock. It sounds hollow. Behind the false wall, a crawl space and something far worse. Bones, trophies, the smell of rot. Case closed. Wait, was it that simple, or was there more to the story? It started with a routine job. A single mother in her mid-30s named Lisa Jennings had hired Eric to fix a leaking pipe in her basement. A kind woman, recently divorced, living alone with her dog in a quiet neighborhood outside Brantford. Her neighbors remembered her waving goodbye the afternoon Eric pulled into her driveway. He wore jeans, boots, that same navy blue windbreaker he always wore. But Lisa never waved again. She missed work, never picked her mail, and her dog was found wandering outside, barking and confused. Police did a welfare check. The front door was locked, the windows intact. But down in the basement, a puddle of water, a toolbox, a broken pipe, no Lisa and no Eric Hallen. For 2 months, nothing. Eric's number was disconnected, his small apartment abandoned, rent unpaid, furniture gone. Until a new tenant moved into Lisa's home and noticed the basement smelled strange. The walls looked newer, fresh drywall, but oddly measured. They taped, one section sounded hollow. Behind it, a false wall, and behind the wall, Lisa's curled body. Wrapped in painter's plastic, her face twisted in frozen fear. Her skull had a deep indentation over the left temple. Her hands were bruised, fingernails broken. She had tried to fight back. Her neck was swollen, showing signs of strangulation. She had been bludgeoned, then slowly choked to death. Next to her, duct tape, a bloody drench, and Eric Hallen's business card. What haunted the police the most wasn't just how she died, it was what was beside her. A small notepad, half torn, the top page smeared with blood. One line was still visible. He said, "I wouldn't be alone here." Lisa was strangled and hidden. Her cause of death, blunt force trauma. Her killer, unknown. But now, police had a name. Born in 1979 in rural Ontario, Eric Hallen was the product of a quiet, cold home. His father, a construction worker with a temper. His mother, withdrawn. Eric was known to be strange. He didn't make friends, he didn't talk much, but he learned early to fix things. By 20, he'd become a self-taught handyman. Low rates, no complaints, until he started moving frequently, often after women went missing in towns nearby. No one connected the dots until now. Police launched a manhunt, but Eric was a ghost. No digital footprint, no family, not even a parking ticket. Then a break. Eight months after Lisa's body was found, an elderly man named Gerald Pierce hired a handyman to renovate his basement. The man was quiet, said his name was Mark, but a neighbor's security cam caught his truck, and the plates matched one previously registered to Eric Hallen. That night, the neighbor heard drilling, then silence. The next morning, Gerald's mail remained in the box. He didn't answer the door. The smell came 2 days later. Police entered. In the basement, another false wall. But this one wasn't finished. The drywall leaned against the frame, and behind it, Gerald's body partially buried. His chest showed deep puncture wounds. His wrists were tied with electric cord. The wounds suggested torture. His fingers crushed, kneecaps shattered. A claw hammer and chisel lay nearby. But what really stood out, carved into the wooden beam behind his body, were the words, "Too much noise." Tools were scattered, and Eric's fingerprints everywhere. But this time, they found more. Behind the wall was a narrow crawl space, barely 2 feet wide. Inside it, officers discovered what they described as memory shrine. Objects arranged neatly, a broken watch, hair ties, an old stuffed bear, a cracked glass frame, all linked to the missing persons across southern Ontario. He'd rushed, left in panic, this time not a ghost. Eric was found in a motel 2 towns over. Armed, paranoid. He didn't resist arrest. He didn't say a word. He just smiled. Eric was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. Evidence was overwhelming. Fingerprints, DNA, the business card, and most damning of all, the false walls. In court, a new detail shocked everyone. A forensic report showed traces of at least three others individuals' DNA behind the false wall in Lisa's basement. None of them hers, none of them Eric's, all still unidentified. He never testified, never showed remorse. And in court, when asked why, he simply replied, because the walls always listened. 2 lives stolen, countless others possibly silenced before them. A killer who built his crimes like he built his walls, carefully, quietly, piece by piece. And you never heard a sound. Sometimes, when we open doors, we invite in more than just strangers. Sometimes, we welcome evil. Subscribe now for more true crime that chills and reveals. Until next time, stay safe out there.